Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are a regular here. Today this is the continuation of the Idaho 4 series of readings, and today I am looking at the energies and intentions of someone that maybe a few people have forgotten about, and that is Inan Harsh, who was one of the neighbours of 1122 King Road, who at the time was very vocal on certain platforms like Reddit. And I believe he did an interview with someone as well about that night, because he claims he heard screaming, I think is one of his claims. I actually downloaded and printed off a whole Reddit post that he made, which was incredibly long-winded, a bit of a life story kind of thing about how he came back from being an addict to now being someone who practices spirituality, all that kind of stuff. But I thought it was worth printing off and reading through, because you never know what what clues you might pick up about people. So let's get going with this. I'm starting with the Clarifying Life Situations deck, as always. This is a psychic reading. I use oracle cards and tarot cards, and occasionally I get messages from spirit, and I interpret these messages in my own way. I don't claim any of them to be factual, nor do I claim to be right, and you may interpret the messages in a different way, and I encourage you to do so. So let's get going. I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards today. I haven't. Okay. So the first card is Cutting Edge. Slice through obstacles and carve a path towards your dreams. I mean, I'm trying not to be too critical at this point when it's the first card. I'm going to reserve judgment on that for now, guys. Then I've got Act with Clarity. Focus your intentions, navigate decisions with clear insight and purpose. Cutting Edge and Act with Clarity. The act with clarity is like making sure that he got the right message across. I mean, you could look at the way he dealt with this in, some people would say being so vocal about it was thou doth protest too much kind of thing. But at the same time, the kind of vibe I got from him was much more a case of a kind of, I can get attention out of this. I believe he's got a YouTube channel as well. Whether or not he's still active on it is, I don't know. But it was publicity for him. Whether, that in other people would look at it and go, well, it's just, he seems to want to, he's very insistent on making sure people know what he knows and that he wasn't involved. But we'll see. So the next deck is the Black Rose Oracle. Okay, one was left on the table. So I'm going to save that to last. So this says foresight. It's in the future, few days to weeks, few months, direction forward. And then we've got frozen, not speaking, stonewall, not taking action. I mean, the frozen card makes me feel like he was frozen out. If he knew certain things, let's just say he heard certain things and he was keen to make it known, it was important to him that for the case that he heard or saw whatever he saw, I get the feeling he was frozen out to a certain extent or made to be quiet. I just think he was told to shut up because he did go quiet. He did go quiet. Which is interesting. Then we have the What's the Vibe Oracle. He also claimed that he had met the girls before at a party, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't actually read what I printed off completely yet. At the beginning, there were a lot of people who were very suspicious of him. And I haven't heard his name mentioned more recently. So it's quite interesting that he's sort of faded into the background. But you have to, everyone's a suspect until you find the culprit. Everyone. Wow. Okay. So we've got the first card is Two-Faced, Double Life, Cheater and Backstabber. So is he trying to pull off, is he trying to convince people he's someone he's not? We've got that word as well, which I don't like, that comes after back. And there's a mask in that picture. I'm not sure if I'm right, but I don't know if he actually advocated that he believed it was Brian as well. I don't understand why or how he could say that, which also makes me very suspicious. Why would you do or say that if you've got no grounds for it, unless you're trying to deflect? And then we've got wishful thinking, second chance, deja vu, nostalgia. That's about his life and how he was talking about how much he's changed, turned his life around. He believes he was given a second chance. I think he was in jail at some point as well. Probably discovered religion, I don't know, but that is that kind of story. So let's carry on. Have you heard that was Moose? I don't know why he's meowing though. Lucy, what's up? Lucy? So the next deck is the vocab deck. So the first card is culmination, climax or highest point. The example is the fall of Petersburg proved the culmination of Grant's Easter campaign. And then we've got precursor, forerunner. The telegraph was the humble precursor of modern telecommunications. It almost makes me feel like he was I don't want to use the word involved, but that to me is like beginning and end. It's the run up to something and the finale of something. The theme is cause and effect. I mean, culmination, sorry, is highest point, it's the climax, but it can also mean the finale. I mean, the culmination may indicate he heard the culmination, he heard the climax of this, the loudest, say the finale, but that may be what this is alluding to. But what I don't understand is, if anyone had heard screams coming from their next door neighbour and it caused them enough concern that they remembered it, and they thought it wasn't the usual party kind of screaming noises, why wasn't the police contacted? People contacted the police just because of noise complaints with that house. So why, if something didn't sit right, wouldn't you call the police? Even if it was just as a welfare check, just to say, listen, it might just be that they're having a party, but just can you check in? Something felt a bit off. It doesn't make sense to me. And the next one is opulence and palatial. Opulence, the impressive wealth. The opulence of Venice is astonishing to those who have never seen Byzantine art, and palatial, fitting for royalty. Some of the most palatial homes are bequeathed as parks and museums. I definitely do not get the impression he was wealthy. I mean, he might have been someone who was driven towards wealth and opulence, possibly. I didn't really get that impression either. But maybe he thought or knew that one or more of the four, or some members of that household, were connected to wealth and opulence. I don't know why that's relevant, but it's interesting. The last deck is the Crime Scene Investigation Oracle. So this says additional evidence that the scene may be discovered. Now, we know it's too late for that because the house doesn't exist anymore. And I don't think anything's going to be discovered at this point, even if it was in the surrounding area. But I think this is alluding to back then, before the house was destroyed. I don't even know if Inan Harsh still lives in the same place. I don't know. But it's almost as if this is saying there was additional evidence. May even have been at his property. I don't know. But this is connected to him. This reading is about him. Additional evidence at the scene may be discovered. Is it evidence connected to him? Or is it evidence at his property? I don't know, but this is something about him. And then we have a friend knows something. So one of his friends knows something about him. Which again is interesting. I can't say what it is, but we're going to do the clarifying now. So hopefully we will find out. Let's do the, what's this one called? It's called the hands. Oh gosh. One second, guys. I'll get these new decks, and I just wish they were labelled. Out of hand tarot deck. So cutting edge. Do not like that card. Clarified by the Ace of Swords in reverse and the Two of Swords in reverse. Interesting, it's got a cutting edge card, and both the cards that come out to clarify are swords cards, which are about, you know, a weapon that cuts. The Ace of Swords in reverse either means he's lying about something, but it could also be that he's concealing something. He could be concealing a weapon. Quite honestly, that card could mean that he's concealing a weapon. Or he was concealing a weapon. Now, I'm not saying it was the weapon, but maybe he had, he liked knives, he collected blades, whatever, and he knew that his property would be searched because he was so close to the crime scene. For whatever reason, he thought, I need to hide my own weapons because otherwise I'll be a suspect. It could be that, it could be something relatively innocent, but at the same time, if it was me, I'd just declare them and say, hey, these are my, just go and get them forensically tested. I don't care what you do, just to prove that my DNA is nowhere near this. This got nothing to do with me. So to hide it again, it's a bit weird. The Two of Swords reversed. something he's avoiding or something he avoided at the time. He was trying to decide something which was difficult. It was a really hard choice, really hard decision, and I don't know what the outcome of that was. But he decided not to, whatever it was, he was like, should I do this? Should I do that? It's like a fight between your conscience and your, I don't know. But he just ended up putting it to the back of his mind and just forgot about it. He didn't even bother making a decision in the end, whatever this was about. Act with clarity, clarified by the Three of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Act with clarity, focus your intentions, navigate decisions with clear insight and purpose. The Three of Pentacles is usually a collaboration card where there's more than one person here. Or it could be that he was focused on three people. I don't know what his circle of, what was his social circle like? Again, I don't know enough about him. I didn't get the feeling he was a highly sociable being. Felt like a bit of a loner. I might be wrong on that. I don't know. The Seven of Pentacles reversed is regarding, again, there's something here about not thinking something through, we're not doing something without forethought or planning. It's like, it's not so much about being spontaneous, it's not so much about being impulsive, it's more about not bothering to tell yourself this is a bad idea because you don't want to, whatever it is he wanted to do, he knew probably wasn't going to be a good idea, but he wanted to do it so badly that he just blocked that out. And I don't know what that might have been. Foresight, it's in the future, clarified by the Seven of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed. Again, I don't know his zodiac sign. Foresight. He thinks he's got some sort of gift. He thinks he's psychic. I'll put it that way. He thinks he can see things that other people can't see. I'm not saying he isn't. He is or he isn't. But that might explain why he was convinced that he knew it was Brian. Things like that. I mean, put it this way, he definitely looks like the type that might have taken some substances that would make you hallucinate, put it that way. Seven of Cups reversed is, there's a sense of delusion here. And the Knight of Wands reversed is just, as I said, very much like the Seven of Pentacles. It's not, thinking things through in advance. Deal with the consequences when, you know, when they come. It's like, I'll deal with that later. It's like, I don't need to worry about that now. I'm living in the moment. The Frozen card, not speaking, not taking action, Stonewall. Clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. And the Hermit. So the Hermit again is about him being on his own. It's like he's also doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I do sense this. It's like it's almost like he was getting so far with things to begin with, you know, posting on Reddit, doing interviews, being very proactive. And then maybe someone comes along and just says, you need to be quiet now. We've had enough of you. Either be quiet or we'll make you quiet. It's that kind of thing. And I don't know who we are, but during that time, it almost spurred him on more. It's like in the background, in his own private settings, he was going, like, spending hours into the night doing research, finding things out about people, and which could indicate that he's innocent. He's got nothing to do with this. Or was he trying to find out what they did know? Was it that? Yeah. So this double life card, two-faced, double life, cheater, backstabber. Is it about him or is it someone else? King of Swords. King of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. It's interesting. The vibe I get from him is more of a Knight of Pentacles person than a King of Swords. I mean, am I wrong there? Maybe that's what that's what the two-faced card is about. He wants people to believe he's a Knight of Pentacles. He's trying to portray himself as the calm, centered, spiritual, living in the present kind of person, which is what the Knight of Pentacles is. Whereas he's more like a King of Swords, who's someone who's tyrannical, someone who feeds off of power, and sometimes the King of Swords can be about someone that rules by fear, but definitely feeds off making someone afraid. Don't get that feeling from him, but I can't, you know, I have been wrong. So is this who he used to be? Is this someone he will always be, but he's trying to deny that he's ever that person anymore? I don't know. Maybe the card is just saying, you know, I've tried to tell my story, but I've held back a lot of detail. There's things about me you don't know, and you know, you don't know who I really was. It's so much worse than I've made it look, who I used to be, but I'm not that person anymore. Why do you need, you know, why is it so important that he needs to make sure everyone knows that? That's what bothers me. That is what bothers me. Wishful thinking and second chance is clarified by the Queen of Pentacles reversed. And the Lovers. Okay, so something happened in his life where he broke up with someone. Hopefully it's a breakup that I'm looking at, not that someone passed away, because it's a reversed card, which can indicate someone that's no longer living. But wishful thinking, second chance, maybe because the Lovers comes in the upright, that he broke up with someone and there was a bit of a you know, they tried again. What's that got to do with anything? So let's see these two vocab cards. Culmination, precursor. Nine of Cups. And the Page of Wands. I mean, I don't like that either. The Nine of Cups, which is about getting immense satisfaction out of something. Getting immense satisfaction out of a culmination and precursor of something. That doesn't make me feel great. And the Page of Wands. It's like it inspired him in some way. It's weird. And then we've got the Opulence and Palatial card. The World. And the Eight of Pentacles. So whatever he says, it does feel like he would love to have the opulence. But maybe his opulence is different to the way, you know, his opulence or his palatial frequency is different to what you might feel, you know, like his palace isn't some ornate highly decorative building, but it might be a well-built cabin in the woods. I don't know, because these cards just seem to indicate that he's working towards achieving something that is his version of opulence and palatial. And it could just be that all those cards are saying is that he's tried to profit, you know, capitalize on what happened because he lived so close. He's like, oh, I'll sell my story, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll be rich. It could be that. It could be that. But there are some red flags here which I'm finding a bit odd. So the friend knows something. Actually, let's use these. Clarified by the Nine of Swords reversed and the Hierophant reversed. Whoever this friend is just feels like a Hierophant energy, which is Taurus. Doesn't have to be Taurus. It could be that as a person, they may have been someone who may have been literally been a teacher, but someone who was in a position of not authority, but a job that is, there's a word for it and it's gone, it's left my mind. You know, like a traditional service job, like could be policeman, could be paramedic, could have been in the army, could have been a lawyer, could have been, you know, do you understand? It feels like someone he knew, a friend that was in that position or did that for a living. And he was worried about it because he thought, well, if they know, they're going to be the type to, you know, they're not just going to forget about it. What worries me about this is that he doesn't have to worry about this friend anymore, which is what the Nine of Swords in reverse is about, because that friend isn't around anymore. Now, I don't know if that means that his friend is no longer on this earth, or if he's just disappeared. I don't know. But it's a bit worrying. It's a bit worrying. Then we've got additional evidence at the scene may be discovered, clarified by the chariot reversed. Something to do with the car. Did he have a car? Did Inan Harsh have a car at the time? What car did he drive? What evidence could have been in that car? What did the car look like? I want to know now, because there's something about his car. And if he had a car. And if he didn't have a car, it was something about he knew something about evidence in a car. One more card. The Nine of Pentacles reversed. I don't know why I'm getting jewellery. I'm getting jewellery left in a car. Or something. Something here about someone's bracelet, or something's not right with this one. So there was one card that was left on the table that I'm going to read now. And it's justice. It says legal matters, court visit, legal papers, divorce. But this is the justice card. It's the one that was left on the table. Does this literally mean that justice has been left on the table? Those scales also, to me, don't necessarily have to represent the scales of justice. They could represent scales that do other things. What was his involvement in the rugs? He lived very close. He lived very close. Another interesting one, guys. So if any of you know more about Inan Harsh, please leave me comments. Any of you who email me, I just want to say this again. I do try and respond to all my emails, though sometimes it's not possible. But please know I do read your emails, and I read all your comments. Even if I don't respond to all of them, I do read them. So thank you, all of you, for all of your commitment to this case and your commitment to my channel. So that's it. I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for your love, your support, your encouragement and your engagement. That will return to you tenfold. Don't forget, I'm still booking. You can still book a private reading with me. The link is in the description. Until next time, enjoy the journey.